what's going on in Orlando this weekend. You know, some people might be there for Disney, some people might be there for Universal, but no, the only thing that matters there this weekend, UFC Fight Night. This is a fight night that is on the scale of a pay-per-view. I swear most of the fights on the main card could be main events alone. Even the prelims has some good fights. Angela Hill versus Emily Ducote on the prelims. Mark Diakase versus Michael Johnson on the prelims. Tracy Cortez on the prelims. So I don't want to waste any more time. I want to break down these fights. I'm going to put a little time code in the description because there's a lot of fights and I understand some people might not care about certain fights. So just skip ahead. Eryk Anders versus Kyle Daukus. Now we had obviously Eryk Anders on the channel. We interviewed him ahead of time. As he said, you know, this is no secret. This is a striker versus a grappler. Eryk Anders has tons of great fights, great fight of the night performances, and he will swing with you. But Kyle Daukus is not going to want to do that. Kyle Daukus is a guy that has really good submission skills. I would say he's most known for getting headbutted by Kevin Holland, and of course in Dallas he got knocked down the first round by Romain Dolidze, which we're going to talk about later on in the video. So I think the question is obviously in these kind of matchups, can the striker beat the grappler? Can the striker defend those takedowns? My guess is going to be, yeah, I think Eryk Anders could defend Kyle Daukus' takedowns. I mean, you saw Kevin Holland defend those takedowns. I mean, obviously Kevin Holland did get a lot better in the takedown department. My guess is Eryk Anders wins. I don't think this fight goes distance. I think either Eryk Anders is going to just beat him, knock him out early, or Kyle Daukus is going to get a submission. Next fight is a fighter that I already touched on, Jack Hermansson versus Romain Dolidze. Now, Jack Hermansson was scheduled to fight Derek Brunson, and like I said, this is another fight that could just be a main event, and we've seen Hermansson and Brunson both headline in different fights. Regardless, Brunson pulled out because of an injury. Now we have Romain Dolidze, who's coming off of a first round knockout of Kyle Daukus, who we just talked about. This is the second time in a row where Jack Hermansson was supposed to fight somebody and then they pulled out, basically making him fight a non-ranked opponent. I mean, he was supposed to fight Darren Till last time, and now he was supposed to fight Derek Brunson, both top guys. Even though Darren hasn't really won, he's still a big name that would have get him over a hurdle of people now knowing who he is. I think though Jack Hermansson, look, Jack Hermansson is super underrated. He's a great striker. He has good wrestling. Yes, he has lost to a few of those guys like Sean Strickland, a lot of the top guys, and right now he's kind of stuck in the middle of the division. He kind of needs that name to push him forward into a title shot. I wouldn't mind if Jack Hermansson wins this if he faces Robert Whittaker. I don't know if they have fought before, but that would be a really exciting matchup just because someone new for Robert Whittaker, assuming he gets past Paulo Costa. But even if he doesn't get past Paulo Costa, that would probably even make more sense if he fights Jack Hermansson. I think Jack Hermansson is extremely underrated because he hasn't really fought anybody that's so big yet, but he definitely is a guy that I think could handle a guy like Romain Dolidze in short notice. So my final pick is going to be Jack Hermansson, probably by decision. Tai Tuivasa versus Sergei Pavlovich. I mean, the power that these two have combined could probably knock out a 1,000-pound horse. I mean, if this goes to distance, I don't even know what I would do. Like, I'm trying to think of something that I would fucking do if this goes to distance, but I can't think on the top of my head. Like, I would have to do something extreme. Although we could have another Derek Lewis, Francis Ngannou situation. But Sergei, I know a lot of people don't know who he is, so let me give you some background. He just came off of the first round knockout of Derek Lewis, though controversial, he still got the win. The fight was probably called a little too early in my opinion, but regardless, the guy's been to a decision 3 times, and other than that, all of his other wins are first round knockout. And the guy only has 1 loss, and it's a knockout loss to Alistair Overeem. This guy is a serious problem for the division if he gets past Tai Tuivasa. The guy's boxing is actually pretty good. He feints a lot. I feel like he's a lot smarter than a lot of the guys that like to just stand there and brawl. He has power, but he also uses it effectively. And obviously everybody knows Tai Tuivasa. Everyone loves Tai Tuivasa. The guy will stand and bang with anybody. Came off of a fight of the night performance, I think one fight of the night against Cyril Gane, where he knocked down Cyril Gane the moment that everybody went crazy at home. And Tai has power because Cyril Gane didn't even get knocked down by Ngannou at all. This fight I did a lot of looking into because this is definitely one of the closest fights that you can call. When you have 2 heavyweights with such power, every fight is truly a 50-50 fight. Tai could literally land one on his chin. It doesn't matter who's the better fighter, especially in the heavyweights. If you just land something, that's it. So I think it's going to come down to who lands something that hurts the person first. And regardless of what I said about Sergei, I think Tai Tuivasa will get this done. Tai is proven to have power. Tai has those leg kicks, even though I've seen Sergei really defend those leg kicks well. Third of all, we've seen Tai take monstrous hits. Now, could this be a toll on him? Could this not really work out in his favor because he's taken so many hits this year? That remains to be seen, but I mean, you saw the beating you got from Cyril Gane. Like, that was a crazy beating. And he was trading with Derek Lewis. The guy has a chin. He's proven it time and time again. I think he's gonna beat Sergei. So I'm going Tai Tuivasa, but like I said, with these guys with power, who knows? Because I've also seen Sergei push forward, and I've seen Tai also back up at times. I can imagine a scenario where Tai gets a little overwhelmed by the feints and gets knocked out early. I have no clue who's gonna win this fight, but I'm gonna go with Tai Tuivasa. Mateus Nicolau versus Matthew Schnell. I'm gonna make this one kind of short because I feel like there isn't so much interest around this fight. No offense to them, but I am interested in this fight. If you guys remember Matt Schnell's last performance, fought in Long Island. The guy got really hurt badly in the beginning, was able to recover and win. I'm gonna make this quick. I'm not really gonna go that much depth into this breakdown. I'm going Matt Schnell. I don't know if you guys know Mateus, but I think if he wins this weekend, I think a lot of people are gonna be pushing to get him a fight with the top of the division. Co-main event. Now, this is another fight. Could be a headliner, could be on a pay-per-view. Bryan Barberena versus Rafael dos Anjos. Rafael, his last fight didn't go his way. It was a pretty close kind of fight with Rafael Fiziev. But Rafael Fiziev is really good. He's a young guy, up and coming, so I don't think RDA should be deterred by that performance at all. He gets knocked down in the final round, and after that, the guy kind of says, look, I'm however old, I'm not looking to necessarily go for the title anymore. I'm not looking for beating these younger guys that are coming up that are probably better at this point. He's looking for fun fights is basically what he's trying to do, and this is as fun of a fight as you can get. Bryan Barberena coming off of his fight against Robbie Lawler back in July, I believe. Really good fight. Bryan was having trouble early, and I thought he was going to lose that fight, but then eventually knocked out Robbie, really put the pace on Robbie. Bryan Barberena, fun fact, actually knocked down Leon Edwards, almost finished Leon Edwards, and this fight is really a close one to call too, because this is at 170. Rafael dos Anjos is just coming up being like, hey, I want to have fun with this fight. I want an easy fight, kind of. I mean, he didn't say that, but that's kind of the mindset. Hey, I want an easier fight. I don't want to fight a contender. So for me, I wonder if Rafael dos Anjos is really in the right mindset. I mean, I think Bryan Barberena, this is a big opportunity for him. Rafael dos Anjos is a big name. My brain wants to say Rafael, because I think he is better overall with the grappling and the striking. But my heart says Bryan. I think Bryan has more will to win, and we've seen him 50-50. I'm going to go Bryan. I'm going to go with the upset just because he's the underdog. Fuck it. I think my brain is telling me, look, yes, Rafael has the better grappling. He has the better mixed martial arts skills. He has faced better competition. He just had a close fight against Rafael. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Bryan though. I think could change before the fight. I mean, this is a 50-50. I think my final answer: brain says Rafael, heart says Bryan Barberena. So I'm gonna be right no matter what. I'm picking both. Now the main event. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm having a little conflict with this one. Let alone the fact that it is a close fight. Kevin Holland and Stephen Thompson, they have been my favorite fighters. Like, they are legit my two favorite fighters. Sadly, they're in the same division. Good news is I'm going to be happy for one of the fighters on Saturday. Bad news, I'm going to be sad for one of them. And it's so sad because both of these guys need this victory. Kevin has been doing good at welterweight, but he's coming off that loss to Hamzat, a vicious loss that he took on a day's notice. I mean, the guy will fight anyone, anywhere, at any time. And Stephen Thompson, I think a lot of people kind of write him off in a way. He is old, yes. He has back-to-back losses, one to Burns, one to Bilal. But I think a lot of people forget how close that Gilbert-Burns fight was. I mean, that third round, I mean, he did knock down Gilbert and lost that round. I'm not at all saying that Steven won that fight. I do agree with the decision, but that was a close one. And people, I think the X factor that people don't give Kevin Holland credit. I mean, put some respect on this guy's name. I mean, the guy will fight anybody. The guy is a black belt in Kung Fu. The guy's jiu-jitsu is also underrated. But the thing that people do not give him enough credit for is his power. You could just tell when you watch his fights that the guy could hit hard. Watch his knockout of Joaquin Buckley. It's right now on the UFC YouTube channel. Watch that knockout and tell me now the mouth guard goes flying across the fucking octagon. But the question is, can Kevin Holland touch Wonderboy? Because Wonderboy's best asset is his movement, is the way that he goes in and out. Even Wonderboy Thompson, this one isn't so close for me to decide. Yes, I could see a scenario where Kevin Holland does hit Wonderboy because, yes, he is long, he's rangy. I think Kevin Holland doesn't really have good distance management. I think that's a problem that he's always had in his career. He will trade even though the guy is like 6'3" in a division where most of the guys are 5'10", 5'11". If Kevin Holland was able to start using his range a lot better, the guy would probably be near the top of the division. So I see this fight being kind of just Wonderboy darting in and out, basically getting the reads, but I could also see a scenario where Kevin hits him hard. It's a close one. It's a close fight. I'm gonna just be on the edge of my seat. I really hope maybe this just ends in a draw, but I'm gonna have to go with Stephen Thompson, I think, by decision. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen in UFC Orlando. If you watched the whole video, please hit the subscribe button because you're just a goat. If you watch the whole video, comment UFC Orlando, and maybe I'll pick one of you guys to win something. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please share, like, subscribe, all that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.